Tikulandireni kulikonse kumene mukutionera madzulo ano. Ndine Banda ndi programu inanso sabata ino ya Times Exclusive. Amatipatsira maprogramu apano pa television ndi Rainbow Paints.
How often do you wash your favorite clothes? 52 times a year? How long do you wear them before they fade away? 3, 4 years? Imagine a paint with washability capabilities of up to 10,000 scrubs during its life. Imagine a paint that maintains its luster for over 7 years. Imagine a paint with a velvet finish and water resistance. Stop imagining, because Rainbow Acrylic Sheen does it all and beyond. An all-time hero for interior and exterior finishing that brings smiles to thousands of families and contractors. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind. Part of the deal.
Mlendo wanga mprogramu wa madzulo ano ndi bambo Schizzo Thomson, amene ndiye wake a company ya Sky Energy Africa. Bambo Thomson, ndikulandireni kwambiri, and I want to thank you for coming. Ndinu ndani?
Ine mene maneneramo ndine Schizzo Thomson. Ndine managing director wa Sky Energy Africa. Imene company ya technology that focuses on clean energy. So, with clean energy, we have diversified in terms of our services. We offer unique and customized energy solutions such as solar, wind, energy storage systems, energy monitoring systems, renewable gases, and we are opening for other new energy technologies in the near future.
How critical are renewable energies, especially at a time such as this one?
Renewable energy is redefining the future in terms of harnessing the energy from different sources of renewable energy to compensate the impact of climate change. As such, you will see that there is a lot of development in trying to make sure that renewable energy is embraced, and it has a bigger impact in terms of economic impact to the society. So, in brief, I can say so.
Can you tell me very briefly, kuti inuyo ndi ndani, mwakula bwanji, nanga izizi za renewable energies, munazidziwa bwanji? But I want to know how you have grown up.
All right. Muntu ine ndi nabadwira ku Malawi konkono.
Thomson ake akuchikwawa?
No, kuma mudzi wa Thomson ndikuchikwawa konko.
Inu ndakuchikwawa?
Ndakuchikwawa.
Okay.
So nabadwira ku Malawi konkono. I did my school so konkono. Kuyambira like kuplanta kuno ku Soji, ku Fere. I did my primary school. From then I went to Liwonde, where I did also my primary school, standard 8 I guess, and then I was selected to go to Balaka Secondary School. After that, there was a move that I went up north, where I did my Form 4. Right. After that, I went to Polytechnic under St. Giles of London, where I did my diploma in electrical and electronics engineering, and because that time I was paying myself like school fees, I had to stop at that stage because of resources. So I had to find a way in terms of getting a work. So I started looking around here in Banda, here and there, and unfortunately I couldn't get a job. So it reached a point where I had to offer myself to work for free at a certain manufacturing company. And I'm just going this in brief, but in between there's a lot that maybe we are going to share more details later. So I started working as an attachment for a manufacturing company. And then, because of my hard work, one of the employees there, who was an expatriate, and then as a note, and this is from my part of my salary, so that you can be getting something. Since I had told him my story, at that time I was staying in Aperi, someone was keeping me there, so life was very hard. And then, a few months later, they had a breakdown with the machine. Since I was very conversant with the machine, especially the PLC, we call it a program logic controller in the manufacturing industry. So the expatriate that came from different countries to those that were working on that company had failed to fix this problem.
Yeah.
And then I was on a side just watching, because at that time I wasn't fully employed, I was just like a junior. And then it reached a point that a factory was down for a month, and then I proposed, like, I think I can try to work on this machine. And it was like, it's this guy from, he's just a student, and you know, something like that. And then I was given an opportunity, and it didn't last an hour. The machine was sorted. I deprogrammed the PLC, and the factory was working. And then the owner was impressed that who was this guy that made this happen. And that's how I got my first job. So he hired me. But because at that time, when it comes to PLC programming, was something interesting, I got another offer within a short period of time. Then I moved to the other company. Right, so the guy who picked me from this company was a Swedish. Okay. He was a manager on that specific company. They come to do the planting of the machine. Yeah. So quick enough, he came to know my passion in terms of tech, and was like, no, you are an international asset, so if I'm leaving this country, I want you also to leave. I will find you a company that will better suit your expertise, because it seems you are very fertile. So being young, early 20s at that time, I left the country, and I joined Delgi International, a multinational company that has establishment in Africa, over 10 countries in Africa, as well as establishments in Canada. That's where the headquarters is in Canada, as well as Dubai, have establishments in Ireland, and so many other countries. So I went these countries for training and all that, and then I moved to DRC, where I was assigned. So I worked my first year, and I've been working hard, and I was promoted at this company. So this company was focusing now on manufacturing of various products, as well as they had an engineering firm called CBS, where they were doing e-bikes. So e-bikes are related to electrical bikes, and as well as solar, wind, and energy storage system. So
where is that?
DRC.
Oh, DRC.
Kinshasa, yes.
Okay.
So I was staying in Kinshasa. Okay. So after that, it happened that I rose to a point of the head of engineering department. I was advancing my school by then. By then I had my bachelor's in renewable energy, because I had seen the future in this direction. So I had switched kind of a career from the just electrical and electronics going to renewable energy, so that by then I had my bachelor's. So with the impact and the services that we have offered, I was signed with tasks around Africa in different countries. I was entrusted again to be head of engineering, as well as a deputy factory manager for the factories. Like there was a factory in DRC, there was a factory in Kenya, they have factories in Zimbabwe, so I was head of this section. So I had made myself connected with the people around in these countries, and while doing that, I was still furthering my studies. For your own information, I currently have masters in energy and sustainability. So in 2015 now, right, now that's a switch, there was energy crisis in Malawi, right, power going off 12 hours. So I saw it on the BBC. I was like, no, I have a responsibility, as well as I'm seeing an opportunity. So I had to quit my job. It was a well-paid job. I was very comfortable. So I came back to Malawi, whereby there was no promise for job and no promise for opportunity. And then that's how Sky Energy was born. But in umbrella of this whole story, to reach a point of starting Sky Energy, I've gone through a lot. I've been selling sweets in Limbi. I've gone so low in my life that, especially when my dad passed on, I was 7 years by that time. He was a businessman, but he died when I was 7, and then we lost everything to a point that our neighbor were the ones that helping us in different areas of life. So my life has just been so humbled by the experience that I came across in terms of how I create a relationship with people that knows me.
Why the name Sky Energy?
Sky Energy was built because the emphasis was to create the energy from the sky, right? So solar, the energy comes from the sky.
Okay.
Wind, the energy comes from the sky. If you talk about other renewable energy like hydrogen, the energy comes from the sky, right? So if you talk about, so sky was just an umbrella, but again, there was a hidden reason that I put sky. Sky is more of a term from above. Okay. So I see God in all of the things that have put together to make Sky Energy an existing company. So there is a hidden reason which I acknowledge God in terms of how Sky Energy was born.
What is your core business? Business yani.
Our main business.
Yes, and the mafuna mulianke njije wali meno.
Okay. Business yatu yaikulu kwambiri.
Yes.
Ndi solar solutions ngati mphamvu ya dzuwa, right? Ndi ma energy storage systems amene ali kusunga kwa magetsi mu njira zosiyana-siyana. Yeah, in brief, that's what I can say. Okay. So, yeah.
So, mwagwira kuti.
Okay. We have, can I go in? I mean,
ndufuna chichewachi.
Yeah. So, tapanga tagwira ntchito makampani ambiri kuno ku Malawi. Kuma makampani athu ambiri ndi international. If I'm allowed to mention the names, we've worked ni makampani ngati UNDP, tagwira ni makampani ngati KFW, tagwira ni makampani ngati Total Energies, tagwira ni makampani ngati Puma, tagwira ni makampani ngati UNICEF, tagwira ni makampani ngati Save the Children, tagwira ni makampani ambiri. The list is endless. And we have as well. Okay, makampani osewa timapangira ma systems a solar. Ma systems wali munjira zosiyana-siyana. Pali ma companies ena, for example, ngati amene timaika muzipatala, right? Ndi ma systems ona kuti the core purpose is to save life. Right? So ndi ma systems ona kuti cholinga chake ndi essential service. So essential services ndi kuti tukambaza kuti mamalo a critical kuna khale ndi power ya interruptible. So ma site ngati amene timaika ma system or we call it energy storage system. Kuti kwachitika magesi azima chani, they should still have flawless power. Right? The zima siyana jonjo. So also ma facilities ena ngati let's say Total Energies, ma systems ake sondo siyana. Ma systems amene amakhala opanda ma battery, amakhala kuti ni ma solar oka ndi some inverters. So the purpose is to save cost in terms of fuel usage as well as electricity consumption. So I would like to explain this one in English, how the systems work.
Yes, please proceed.
So we call it a gen synchronized PV technology, whereby you have a solar panels and they produce power directed to be consumed by the load that is being used on that facility. In this case, I'll just give you an example so you can understand.
Please.
We have countries like Europe, I mean a continent like Europe, whereby power challenges are not very prominent. Right, in terms of my blackouts, but you agree with me, I know you have traveled, you see that there's a lot of solar, and then you tend to wonder, why they do a solar? It's because solar is a business case. You get it? So a business case in a sense that, amaika solar ija, magesawa, ali stable, kala maika solar ija, ndicho linga jonena kuti, at time, kuli dzuwa moja. Mphamvu ya dzuwa ija izi ya mwidwa, ndikupereka magesi ku malodo osamene ali connected ngakhale iwo ani magesi kuti adule cost ya chani ya magesi aja. In bigger facilities ona kuti ni ma factories akulu, it is very costly kuika ma systems ona kuti mwina uike mabattery chani anthu amaika ma systems amene ndikuzaniwa call them greater self-consumption technology. Muika ma solar aja cholinga mupange cut cost ya fuel, mupange cut cost ya jani ya magesi. So our is a business case. Kumanu, we cannot apply this in the malunga zipatala chani, whereby the reason is to address our challenges. So we have a diverse range of energy solutions that we offer.
So mugulita solar.
Yes, that's our main business.
Okay. So munthu amene ali ndi magetsi a Eskom oti saku zima.
Yes.
You still encourage them to apange.
I mean, only my customer because let me tell you,
Yes.
if my business good in dingo panga solo oti magesi akazima and ndizipanga address challenges on others amazime. What about nthawi imene magesi asiya kuzima? I'll be out of business.
Okay.
So my main business is to make sure they cut cost in a long run. So inungati bill yanu malibira let's say 10 million, 5 million on your infrastructure.
Yeah.
We come in with our solution to make sure we cut maybe 50% down using our solutions. So this one is applied on bigger scale, on bigger infrastructures. They consume a lot of electricity because for a home, what you have 30,000, 20,000, then my systems are wouldn't really make sense.
Okay.
Okay. You get it?
Yeah.
Now on those ones, because we got battery, on a commercial scale, that's the technology I'm talking about. So that's about solar.
So factories.
Factories. Zibadala zikulu ma hotels ma bill they go above 10 million and all that monthly. So it's our job now to cut that cost.
And you are
doing that.
Yes.
We can't tell them to go my party they can't even take that cost because it would be expensive.
So you're doing that in Malawi.
We are doing that in Malawi, yes.
And the costs have gone down.
Yes,
for
it's
your
demonstrated. It's demonstrated. That's why we've moved from client to client. And tell you what, most of our client base is basically from a perspective of our previous deliveries, like kind of reseller. We go to the other step.
Ndiye kuti mpaka mwamanga chinyumba mu nkuli mwamanga akuti mwamanga chinyumba sati masewera office complex.
Yes. It is true we've built what we call it a hub, Tamanga hub, yorena kuti ma technologies that was siyana amenda kufotokozera ngati solar, wind, energy storage systems, energy monitoring systems, and many other energy solutions. Ndru alizatha kubwera kudzaona komanso kuphunzirako komanso kutengako ma solutions athu. So yes, it is true we have built ka office kathu munapere. We have been in business for some time. We have served. Commercial, we've worked internationally, as you have seen from my background. We had a keen interest to invest in Malawi. So all the resources and everything that has built that infrastructure is as a result of our hard work from the business that we have made.
Yeah, and this just recently, Tamva kuti you want to bring in electric vehicles?
Yes.
Is it true?
It is true.
Okay. Do you want to tell us more about that?
Yes, so electric vehicles are the future, and future is inevitable. Whether we want or not, electric vehicles are coming. Are coming today, they would have come tomorrow, they would have come yesterday. It could be me, it could be someone else, but EVs are the future. So Sky Energy is indeed bringing the electric vehicle to contribute economically to Malawi, to contribute in impacting effects of climate change, to contribute creating efficiency in the transportation sector. So electric vehicles are coming, it's true.
Okay, can you tell me, we should have different types of electric vehicles?
Yes.
Which ones are you bringing?
All right.
And which ones are on the market?
All right.
Yes.
So we have 4 types of electric vehicles.
Okay.
Allow me to explain.
Yes.
There is what we call a BEV, which is a battery electric vehicle. A battery electric vehicle, one minute. Second one, we also have what we call it hybrid vehicle. We call them traditional hybrid electric vehicles.
Okay.
I'm going to explain all this.
Yeah.
We also have what we call it a plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. And fourthly, we have what we call it fuel cell electric vehicles. So I'll start with a battery electric vehicle. That's the one we are bringing to Malawi.
Okay.
So the battery electric vehicle, the common thing of all these EVs are that they are driven by a motor. different from the internal combustion engine, which are the current vehicle that we are using in the moment that use an engine. So the difference between now the internal combustion engine and the EV is that the electric vehicle is driven by the motor and its power storage is in form of a battery.
Okay.
Whilst the internal combustion engine, its power storage is in form of fuel.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
So now we are moving to the other type. So we have what we call it hybrid vehicles, right? Hybrid vehicles are already here in Malawi. So hybrid vehicles, they have a small motor as well as they do have an engine. So they use an engine power to charge.
So they have a bit of both.
They have a bit of both.
Okay.
And a small battery pack.
Okay.
Right. So these ones, they use engine power. When you put fuel, they use engine power to charge these batteries, and then you can drive using this hybrid setup from the motor from the battery storage.
Yeah.
So it will have a small distance and all that. It's already here. That one is traditional.
Okay.
Now there's another one which is plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. So a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle is similar to the hybrid vehicle, but it also has an external charger. So you can have a hybrid vehicle which has also external charger, which can charge power from outputs, from outside sources, right? That's a hybrid one, a plug-in hybrid vehicle. And then we have what we call it fuel cell electric vehicle. That one uses hydrogen. So hydrogen is another source of electricity to drive electric vehicle. But this one, hydrogen, is achieved by a process what we call electrolysis, by separating water and oxygen to produce hydrogen. Mm-hmm. So this hydrogen is stored in a pack in an EV in form of a gas.
Yeah.
Yes, and then it has a cells that it flows, and it will go too much technical, but that's how a fuel cell EV works. It stores its energy in the form of hydrogen gas. So now what are we bringing to Malawi? What we are bringing to Malawi is a battery EV. All these ones are called EV, you get it? Mm-hmm. But what we are bringing to Malawi is battery EV. We are using lithium ion battery technology that will be charged both using the external charger to charge the battery, as well as the EV has another technology, what we call it regenerating charging. So when you are driving, when you are accelerating or you are pressing brake, it will still also charge the batteries. Yeah. And these EVs that we are bringing to Malawi, they have what we call it dual charging system. Right, I know there's a concern about chargers and all that. Yeah. There is what we call dual charging system. So a dual charging system allows you to charge your EV at home just by plug-in per socket. Okay. You will be able to charge your EV with a built-in charger that a vehicle comes with. Okay. Plug per socket. Of course, this one takes a little bit, a few hours, maybe 8 and above, to get the vehicle fully charged. Yeah. And then we have another type of charger, which is called a fast charger. A fast charger will allow the vehicle to be charged in town. So we have set up a plan that we are going to install these chargers across the country in the major cities, that you can drive and park there and charge maximum about an hour or 2 hours or so. These are fast chargers. Okay. And then we are going to upgrade it to superchargers, which is not in our pipeline at the moment. So supercharger can allow you to inject your vehicle and get it charged in 30 minutes, maximum of an hour. So briefly, that's simple technicalities about the EVs.
And you have the financial muscle to do all what you have told me, building of charging points across the country.
If we have started it,
yeah,
we cannot announce it if we know we are not going to finish it.
Okay.
I don't go out in media and start claiming things that I'll not do. I have started working on this project for so many years. People started to know about it 3 years ago. Okay. But it was beyond 3 years ago how I started planning about this whole thing. So it is going to happen. It is going to happen. Yeah. All the infrastructure setup is already in the pipeline to start being deployed soon. So these things are going to happen.
Are you going to sell these vehicles, or I want to understand? What is it that you want to do with electric vehicles?
These electric vehicles are coming to be sold. We are
Okay.
going
So,
to
so you'll be selling.
we'll be selling.
Okay.
We'll be selling the electric vehicles at Kabwera. Kumasa, we have another ambitious plan in the future. We will bring a very smaller kind of EV, whereby Muma Banga set in town. You locate them in town,
Okay.
and then you have a card. You can go access the vehicle and drive it. So that's on a later stage.
Okay.
But at the moment, what we are bringing is for the purpose of selling and, of course, servicing.
So, will these cars, you're telling me they are electric vehicles?
Yes.
So they can go for years without changing the batteries?
Okay, so the battery that we are bringing in terms of the vehicle that we have specified to roll out in Malawi,
Yeah.
they're going to have a minimum life of 15 years in terms of battery.
So no service, nothing.
The service-
you just keep on charging.
The service that is going to be incapacitated on these vehicles
Yeah.
is inclusion of kusintha matela, suspension, maybe mashoko, chani,
Yeah.
basic stuff. About the vehicle, the minimum we should expect is about 15 years. Because these batteries are lithium batteries, and lithium life expectancy, if you have abused it much, you are not going to, it's not possible that you can change in less than 10 years.
Do we have enough power to charge this kind of batteries?
Sky Energy is a power company. And the EVs that we are talking about
Yeah.
can also be charged with the solar power. So
They can be charged
with the solar power.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But aside that, the power we are talking about, ngati menendani nena kuti you can as well charge the vehicle kunyumba. Sikuti amachita kufuna magetsi onena kuti ambiri kwambiri.
Okay.
You get it?
Okay.
It depends with the charger you Ngandana kuti kunyumba, ndakuti charger yako kunyumba charge ngono. Less
Okay.
than 3 kilowatt upanga plug in ukagona 8 hours battery usayipeza ili few. You want kuti ufuna charge nsanga. Fast charger chikhala chachikulu isandre industrial charger. Amino ndamene tufuna tayike in town. Kuti muntu ukhoza kutani kubaya ndikuika. And fast. And my infrastructures amene tukugaya manga pakha kuti pali solar.
Oho, pamene anthu
Pamene tukacharge pamene tukamanga zinthu zobaka
Yeah.
kuti pali solar.
ndiye zinthu zo mwamba kalobweretsa
Makosanimenta kubwera.
Oh.
Makosanimenta kubwera ama chargers and all that.
magalimoto afika kale.
Magalimoto they will be here in Malawi in less than 2 to 3 weeks account Africa.
Oh.
Yes. So September is a benchmark for us to launch the EVs in Malawi.
Do you think you have a market for these kind of vehicles?
Change, as I already said.
Yeah.
People are always curious about change.
Yeah.
But the advantage of the EVs are far much more better to be considered. The market is there. We have made a research and we have people that are already interested. So the market is there. People are going to go for EV. I'll tell you some cost-benefit analysis of
Yeah.
EV.
Yeah.
It will only take you to charge with less than 5,000 to 10,000 for you to be able to drive 1 week in Blantyre.
1 week?
1 week.
Okay.
Because if you, for example,
Yeah.
the vehicle that is going to be, to give you 350 kilometer, after a single charge,
Yeah.
will have a 29 kilowatt hour motor.
Okay.
So if you have, a 29 kilowatt hour power storage. So if you consider the power that is going to be used to charge this battery, you'll find that it's less than 10,000 to get full. So with this one, even if you are driving to Lilongwe, you drive with less than 10,000.
So you can go from here to Lilongwe
Yes.
with a single charge?
With a single charge, yes. With a single charge.
Without stopping in Cheu
Without
to
stopping in
recharge?
Shell. Of course, there's a plan. We cannot have these. We cannot have in Shell days without EVs. Anything can happen. So all these places are going to have also EV.
Are you yes.
Despite that, our model at first is going to promote city airlines. When I say city airlines, I'm trying to mean that these vehicles, the prime purpose that we
Yeah.
want to encourage
Yeah.
is for city learning until we put all the infrastructure in between cities.
I see.
Like the chargers in there, because we will prioritize the chargers in the city.
Okay.
Because that's where people commute a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you doing this alone, or you have also partnered with Malawi government?
Well, we haven't partnered with Malawi government, but
Okay.
what I can tell you is that from 2020, we've been writing to MRA seeking due clarification on electric vehicles,
Okay.
and tried to give an intensive on try to discuss with them like what other countries are doing in terms of electric vehicles.
What other countries what are they doing? Other
Like,
countries?
Other countries, there's no tax on electric vehicles, like
No tax.
duty, nothing.
Okay.
But the
Angolo basi.
Angolo bus. So the beauty is the budget that has been announced this year, 2023, has removed all the taxes on electric vehicle. So we appreciate.
So that munthu utafuna kugula electric vehicle kunja
ingolowa, there's no tax,
no duty, nothing.
No duty, no anything.
Okay.
Ingolowa.
Okay.
So that's what is happening already globally in some other countries.
See.
Most of the countries, right? So ukagula electric vehicle nekuti ingolowa palibe ma taxes, and we should appreciate government for that initiative, right? To make sure that people of Malawi can easily afford the electric vehicle, as in that there is no duty and all that. So
the Malawi government has made a clear indication kuti magari morantu na amenewa, they will just come here without any
yes,
any
it's
tax.
in books, it's in paper, it was approved, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
not only that,
yeah.
maybe people doesn't know.
Yeah.
Solar batteries, that doesn't have also duty.
Mupama kwa chara ankolo.
No.
Na sizi ungolowa titu. Ma solar batteries mungolowe.
No, it's not a question of upama kwa jakuma, the impact it has to Malawians.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not always about
what
money.
Impact?
Because now it means they will access the energy in terms, they'll have access to energy at a cheaper cost. They'll have access to the electric vehicles at a bit reasonable cost compared to places whereby you have to pay taxes on these things. And for your own information, Malawi has not reached a point whereby they have enough electricity like all the country in remote and all that. Yeah. So this is a way to encourage people to adopt clean energy. It has been there, like on the tax were removed a long time ago.
I see.
Yeah.
And where are you buying these vehicles?
These vehicles are coming from different countries,
yeah.
right? So we have brands like, if I mention a brand, you should know the country. But distributing points are different. So we have brand like Wuring Air, we have brand like Citroen, we have brand like Tesla, we have brand like
You're
DYB.
bringing Teslas as well?
Tesla will not start this year, but Citroen, Tesla will arrive next year. But as of Citroen, DYB and Wuring, the containers are already coming, right? So Citroen, we are going to have the ones that are going to arrive sooner are the Citroens. Okay. Yes.
Are they affordable?
Yes, very much affordable.
Very much affordable?
Very much affordable in the sense that these EVs have no tax. And we have negotiated with our partners that are sending these vehicles. And they will be more affordable if this country can stabilize in terms of Forex. But as it stands, they will be affordable for people of Malawi to manage to acquire them. People go in counters and pull out 100 million car, 90 million car, 50 million car, but ours are not even going that far.
They will not go that far?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's take a short break. We'll be back with you in a moment.
All right.
In case you're just joining us, you are watching Times Exclusive on Times Network. I'm joined by Mr. Schizzo Thomson, who is the Managing Director for Sky Energy Africa. We are talking about renewable energy in this edition of the program. Don't go away. We'll be back in a moment.
They say blood is thicker than water. Reality tells us that even family lets one down sometimes. We still have to face the harsh weather as individuals. We say Rainbow Weather Shield paint is thicker than blood. The paint endures the hottest of days, the heaviest of rains, the dustiest of seasons, and the windiest of nights. Not even the toughest molds can stand this hero of a paint. Rainbow Weather Shield, family and true friend that sees no weather. Rainbow paints, peace of mind, part of the deal.
Ngati mwango tipeza kumene tathamtunda ndithu ndi bambo Schizzo Thomson, ukamamva dzina langa ngati mzungu raro Schizzo Thomson anyamata amchikwawa mwali chikwawa yeah iwo ndi ainu ake Sky Energy Africa. Ndimafuna ndifunse kuti what would be the economic impact of this kind of business that you are bringing to Malawi?
Okay, so let me tell you like this. Electric vehicles are powered by batteries. I want to put it in a way that everyone understands.
Yeah.
Are powered by batteries.
Yeah.
They have battery storage. We have internal combustion engine that its source of energy is fuel, right? In Malawi, currently, we import fuel. And you and I can agree that in 10, 20 years, we cannot say that we are start going to have fuel locally available. We are not going to reach a point that we are drilling fuel locally. Not very soon.
Yeah.
Electric vehicles, they use electricity. We are not importing electricity. We use electricity that we produce locally.
Mm-hmm.
And the chances are there that we can decide as a country to increase in terms of production.
Okay.
So between what we are importing and what we are going to produce locally, fuel is still going to externalize Forex forever.
Yeah.
EVs, you are going to externalize only on import.
Yeah.
And maybe after 15 years when we are buying another battery.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we should think in this line first.
So EV is the way to go.
EV is the future
Okay.
in terms of economic balance of Malawi crisis at the moment.
You know, ndinali ku China at
Yes.
some point, and ndinaona ngakhale 7 ton
Yes,
ma EV
yes.
zimagamula dzikudzukulutu
Yeah.
anzathu atsogolatu kwambiri.
No, people have gone so far, and we call it revolution.
Yes.
In Europe, they have a deadline
Okay.
whereby the EVs, the internal combustion engine are going to be phased out.
Okay.
Right. So it means they are going to be using EVs completely. But now coming to Malawi, I'm not going to give you confidence to say that we can start rolling out trucks and heavy trucks on EV at the moment.
Okay.
Because they require bigger charging infrastructure.
I see.
Right?
I
Because
see.
their energy storage
Yeah.
is big.
Yeah.
But for these small errands and learning out of town,
Yeah.
going kuchito, kubwela, kasiyana ku school, this one is what is more critical. And this is the area that we are starting to address now.
I hear you were recognized by Forbes.
Yes, in 2019, I was recognized by Forbes in terms of technology. Yes,
So what was the category?
technology category. So I was recognized on technology category by Forbes, and I think as it stands, it's one of the honor that I carry on my shoulder, and that has added value in terms of international recognition, as I am a frequently invited by big international organization to take part in technology-related developments across the globe.
So that honor that you received, what was the achievement? Amatima atani nuyo kuti akuzindikire.
It's not.
Ndimafuna funso limene
Yes,
muliyanke nchichewa.
All right.
Muliyanke nchichewa
Yes,
limene.
so see
Simangira kuchukwawo.
see technology ina iliyonse
Yeah.
imene imakhala ndi social impact ku society. Technology
Yeah.
izikhala ndi chopindulitsa ku society kuti izitha kuseva moyo,
Yeah.
izitha kusintha moyo ya anthu. Ineyo technology imene ndipangisa kuti a Forbes apereke nayo chidwi ndi zinthu zimene ndakhala ndikupanga before I start Sky Energy ndili kunja. Like ma solar amene takhala tikupanga kunja.
Yeah.
And ku Malawi kuno kufika point yonena kuti you can save life ndi makesa solar. Taika mu zipatala za mission whereby amatiuza kuti kumachitika maliro kunoko anthu akakhala kuti kubereka zimayi chani zangati zimenezi. So what you are doing to the society matters the most, and because of that Forbes saw it kuti this guy is contributing something to the society.
Okay.
And that gave me a recognition. But there are other things that we have contributed. Like when I was coming down here with Blue Zone, we did a couple of interesting things, like loading.
What's
like
Blue
loading.
Zone?
Blue Zone is a water solution company.
Okay.
Yes, and with a Danish company, we rolled out the first water tap
Okay.
Yeah, water ATM taps.
Okay.
So we call them aqua taps.
Okay.
That time I was very young. So these aqua taps, you use a card to dispense water.
Okay.
You get it. So
Yeah.
it was supposed to be deployed. We have some in Maketa and all that. That was way back. Right. So this, in terms of software-related development and all that, was facilitated by me by that time.
Okay.
So all this has added up to the profile of what we can do. And in terms of developing in-house energy monitoring systems, right, like many lead infrastructure, and kuti osati solar osati chani koma we want to know kunena kuti ma energy flows athu akumayenda bwanji timagisa ntchito bwanji power, so we have that capability of offering those kind of services. So all these are things that I have already been doing way back, and it was adding up on my profile in terms of technology. So when you line them up, I think that's what made folks more impressed.
And you in 2019 you were below 30.
Yes,
here.
I was below.
So how old are you now?
I'm 33 years old.
So you're pretty young, a young man, yeah?
Yes, we can say so.
But doing exceptional things.
Yes, and I don't think I'm the only young Malawian amene kupanga zinthu zambiri or zinthu zazikulu.
33 years?
I think alipo ambiri kumalawi kuno. It might be good I'm privileged kuti mundidziwa.
Yeah.
Koma I know kuti no kumalawi kunoko ana achichepere, anyamata achichepere akupanga zinthu. So I'm just privileged that.
So what has that recognition done to you, Tsopano?
Okay, so as I said.
So you were recognized as someone amene akuchita zinthu zopatsa chidwi below the age of 30 in 2019.
Yes.
Recognized by Forbes.
Yes.
Yes.
So that honor,
Yeah.
imene ana tipasa Forbes,
Yeah.
has attracted international, like I'm credited kuti uyuyu zimene akupanga mazidziwo. Shortly, I was invited to Israel by Israel Jewish Committee, right? American Jewish Committee of Israel under their government, right? To participate in certain technology-related developments, right? Such things are not just going to happen to anyone. And it was only about 14 people from Africa that we were invited there. And you know, when we talk about Israel in terms of technology, so I'm an alumni of AJC committee.
Okay.
1, 2, I was also invited by UNIDO, United Nations Industrial Development, for their Global Manufacturing and Industrial Summit as a speaker.
Okay.
So these things are on a global stage. And I also contributed in Monaco Hydrogen Summit, right, which has now, for now, you can see the rollout of hydrogen plant in Namibia,
Okay.
right, and it has been a lot that has been happening in that space. And shortly, as Sky Energy itself, we've been listed as a top 5 startup tech firm in Africa, which we received last September in Cape Town. So we have positioned ourselves well as a company, but also as an individual. It's all coming from the respect that Forbes gave it to me.
Do you think the Malawi government is doing enough in issues of renewable energy? Pakuperewera mpati, if there is a loophole.
Okay, I think Malawi should operate like a startup nation, in a way that
It should operate
like a startup nation,
Okay.
whereby decisions are very fast, bureaucracy is a bit slow, so that things can get moving. I'll tell you an example. When
Yeah.
I was in Israel, I was invited for a special meeting with Yosef Ibrahimovic, the owner of Gigawatt Solar. Last week, if you have seen the news, the president of Zambia has sealed a deal worth $50 million that is to invest in a solar plant in Zambia. I meet this team, and they are willing to invest even now $75 million Kumalawi kunago to invest on solar, and things zimajedo on paperwork. So I can say it should operate as a startup a startup nation in a way that decisions move fast so that we can progress. Yeah.
So zimajedwa kubomako paka khala kuti pali zinthu zofunika usaini. That's where your frustrations akuchokera pamene.
Yes, otherwise the people are fine, but it's a system that needs to be fixed.
What system?
Bureaucracy,
Yeah.
whereby chinthu chikapangidwa submit, it will take a lot of time for people to
I've heard that. I've heard those complaints. And
Yes. Zino ngati zimene zozo zitakonzedwa, we need to be fast.
Awuti zimajedwa ifanyani kuti?
I don't know. I don't know.
Awulisema chino jani mapepa alama vuta kutuluka mu office. Kapena amafuna kama mwamba.
I don't know, but I've never been asked. But this many is also zona kuti zipito goes zichedwe, and then you find things taking time.
Yes, koma maiko anzathu they are moving forward, even in Kaniza renewable energies.
Yes,
they are making significant strides.
There's a little. You can't say like a zero progress in terms of implementing clean energy plant. We've seen what we have in Salima, a power plant which has been implemented, JC Power. Yeah, and that one is one of the systems that I was telling you, gen synchronized PV technology. Okay. But that one has a storage, maybe to give a stability. Cloud, the batteries should give a stability, but not as to give a backup. Okay. Yeah.
What do you think we should do as a country? Are we doing enough? You seem to be an expert. They are a Minister of Energy. They are watching us tonight. They are watching and monitoring this conversation. You have also said that they have put specific deadlines. What do you think we should do? Are we having enough conversation? Because it looks like EVs are the way to go.
Yes, so in this regard, what I can say is that, you see, it starts from the players like us to engage the government.
I see.
So what are the entrepreneurs doing to engage the government in the right direction? Because I'll tell you that we contributed a lot. We wrote MRA, we wrote Minister of Energy, we wrote Minister of Finance about the importance of taking out tax on electric vehicles. Yeah. And that has been honored. Yeah. What is, it's not impact to me, it's impact for Malawians. So in Malawi, the only people that were able to get a car on a duty-free were ministers, MPs, and all that. But now if you are buying an EV, it's for everyone. Yeah. At the same time, that's environmental stewardship that Malawi is portraying. Yeah. So we can say by implementing strategies that harmonize or that include necessary environment for entrepreneurs to bring in ideas and then being adopted, it will be fine. The government should engage entrepreneurs more.
You are a young man, 33 years of age, doing exceptional stuff. There are probably other young men watching us tonight. They would also want to aspire to do greater.
Yes.
In this field. What would you tell them?
What I would say is people should always keep innovating. And young people should move from their comfort zone. Because you see, there's food for every bird, but no one provides it in the nest. You have to move out from the comfort zone.
You need to move out
from the comfort zone and make yourself relevant. To make sure that you offer service that is outstanding, that will be needed by the country, that will be needed by any other places that you can offer your services. Beyond just looking at Malawi. I'll tell you one thing. As I said, that most of our client is international company, just like I've mentioned, you have seen. I hear people complaining, our government is not giving us business. I feel government has to create environment for business. Not necessarily that everyone can be a service provider to government. Yeah. For example, Sky Energy, we have never offered any service to government, even government parastatal.
Even government parastatal?
Even government parastatal.
So you have never dealt with
service, private sector and NGOs. And how many companies can survive without like that? Yeah. That's the thing. So people need to externalize their expertise outside Malawi, not only to think about government as the biggest client. But if government is seeing that you are doing great, yes, they should give you a job. And
why are you not doing business with government?
Government systems.
Yes.
Izibanga Hona projects based on competence and quality of the service.
Okay.
And quality of the service doesn't come behind the scenes. Quite of the services are the delivery services that are exceptional in Glamour.
Yeah,
yes.
Not behind the scenes.
Not behind the scenes.
What would be your concluding remarks? And how you did Taylor? After all is said and done, what would be your final thought for tonight?
My final thoughts will focus on the change. That change is something that is in nature of a man to resist change, but change is inevitable, and change will always take phase. There was a time whereby kunalibe magari moto. There was a time kunabwera magari moto.
Yeah.
And there was a time kunalibe magari moto automatic. People were like, no, we can't go automatic.
Automatic sarimba.
Sarimba. Now everyone is driving automatic cars. Today, we are talking about the EVs. And this said as a reminder to everyone that the EV that we are bringing now are going to redefine the future, and they are coming to stay.
The future is EV.
The future is EV, and the EVs are coming to stay.
Bambo Schizzo Thomson, I want to thank you most kindly.
Thank you.
For coming and to share with us what you are doing. And I also want to congratulate you because I'm seeing you for the first time on the recognition that you got from Forbes.
Thank you so much.
It's an honor to all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, on that note, we conclude this week's edition of Times Exclusive here on Times Television. I was honored to host Mr. Schizzo Thomson, Sky Energy Africa Managing Director. My name is Brian Banda, from all of us here at Times headquarters in Blantyre, thanking you for joining us tonight, and goodbye.